All right, everyone. Welcome to Green White Checker TV, home of the Area 51 Super Speedway Truck Series here on Thursday nights. Maxwell Caldwell up here in the booth with you, here to call the second race of the Truck Series playoffs here tonight. Going to have 75 laps here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Beautiful track that puts on some great racing, and drivers are out there now qualifying, but Gael Brooks is here in the booth. He kind of helped fill in for me last week, was a little under the weather, so appreciate that, Gael. And since I wasn't here, why don't you tell everybody kind of what happened last week in playoff race number one?
Like I said, it was playoff number one, like I said, and yeah, definitely glad to have you back. Hope I know you're feeling mostly better, so good to have you back, and definitely glad to see you on the mend. But yeah, it was a wild one over at Daytona to kick things off. It's one of those races, only two yellows, but you wouldn't have known it just from how things wound up going, because I don't believe there was a single incident-free truck that night. Just the way everything panned out, but wouldn't you know it, though, at the end, Gabe Butler somehow finds a way to win these races, and he continues his domination in this series this season, picking up the win in that race, and then Eric Laurie, a good top three for him. And then some of the newcomers, a newcomer, I should say, Austin Call, and then Jim Brooks rounding out our top five. So some good also non-playoff results for some of those guys. So yeah, it was busy. There's a lot going on, a lot of moves being made, but now it's the whole new animal. It's another, I would say, narrow of the super speedway tracks, to be honest, over here at Atlanta. So I think that's going to be a big one tonight to see what's going to be the strategy. Where do you make your moves? When do you make the moves? And then I think pit strategy will be the name of the game tonight, is trying to see if maybe you can break yourself away from the pack, and kind of get on your own little pack and break away, maybe like a 5-6 truck group. So watch for teams to try to maybe go a little bit off sequence here tonight.
Absolutely. It's going to be an interesting one, and I know the Sunday series already came here to Atlanta and had a heck of a race there, but tonight is the trucks, and we've got to look here at our point standings now. It's going to look different from here on out. We're only going to show these top 12 playoff contenders. Got them highlighted in green there, but like that probably matters at this point by themselves. But right here, you see the points after race one, and Gael, not a whole lot different there. Gabe Butler still atop the standings with a pretty healthy lead, all in all, over teammate Eric Laurie.
Yeah, and that's the thing, was there wasn't any of those big points updates or I should say bonus points from an incident-free race. So really opens up some opportunities for drivers tonight to be able to kind of regain some ground that maybe they lost a little bit. But you're right, though. I mean, there was a lot of difficult moments for some of the playoff drivers. Like I said, should say Gabe having that 7-point lead to kick it off over Eric. That's a good gap to start off the first race. I'm sure Gabe's not going to be looking backwards. He's going to look forward, but at least he knows he's got a little bit of, not a mulligan, but at least a little bit of help in his pocket there. But then from Eric on back, I mean, they're all sitting on top of each other from second to about, I believe, sixth in Matt Wagner, as it's only a 7-point difference between those 6 drivers there. So yeah, it's all to play for. I think bonus points definitely going to be crucial here tonight to see where everybody shakes out. Because I think this is definitely a track where being instant free is going to be critical. Getting those 3 bonus points are huge, but obviously the first bonus point that's going to be coming into play here tonight is going to be pole position. So we'll have to see who's going to try to make that happen and get that top spot, and maybe see some drivers start towards the back, maybe look at getting the highest climber award.
Absolutely. A lot of different strategies for each of these drivers. Currently, Gabe Butler atop the standings for qualifying. Should not be a shocker there. But really quick, before we go to the grid, Gael, do you think anybody's already too far out with still 3 races to go, or do you think it's mostly anybody's game here? Kind of where's your cutoff, you think, right now after race one with just 3 remaining?
Honestly, realistically, I think it is right where I said, right at that 6th spot with Matt Wagner. I don't know if you're 21 points out of the lead, if you can regain that without some significantly bad luck, because unfortunately, we don't have the biggest of fields. I think we're just around 20-ish here once again tonight. So you really don't have those huge drops of if you have a bad race. So that's about where I'm thinking, like I said, around that point of Matt Wagner. I think that's going to be about the spot where things could kind of sneak away from those ones behind. And unfortunately for those that missed the first race, Don't see them recovering, but at the same time, you always want to root for them a little bit too. So maybe someone has a big, strong showing these final three and kind of jumbles up the field.
Absolutely. So, talking about the field, let's see if we can bring up our starting order here. And right there on the pole, your playoff drivers highlighted in green so you can keep up with them even on the grid here. Gabe Butler in the top spot with Matt Wagner with an impressive lap there in second. Ryan Decker is going to be in the third spot with Richard Sanchez in fourth. James Moen rounds out your top five, and Jim Brooks there going to start from the sixth position. Josh Laston is there in seventh. Austin Call in the 64 there in the eighth spot. Everett Lane, a very fast restrictor plate driver here, not in the playoffs, but could definitely cause a stink for some of these guys there in ninth. And Vicente Guerrero, another very aggressive guy, going to look to move up from that 10th starting spot. Gary Winters and Kevin Freeze are there in the sixth row in the 11th and 12th positions. 13th is Patrick Groover. Seth Groover there, I think, choosing not to lay down a lap there in 14th. 15th, Taylor Reeves. 16th, Bud Steele. Bob Fitzgerald in the 08 in the 17th spot. Todd Siebels, after missing last week, back in action here in 18th. Adam Kilday in 19th. And Robert Rock rounds out that top 20. And the very last starting spot on the grid tonight is a playoff driver, and that is Eric Laurie, putting himself in a great spot for that most positions gained spot, Gael.
Yeah, and that's the exact first and second in points. I mean, you look at the leading the points in tonight on pole, so bonus point goes to Gabe. And then the driver who is second in points is going to start shotgun tonight. I think he's been having some connectivity issues, unfortunately. And actually, I don't believe he's able to make it to the grid. So this is going to be a big hit for Eric, not able to grid in time to start the race. So tough hit for him to start off. Hopefully he's able to at least get grid and start from the pits maybe. Then you just got to kind of hope for that luck, maybe catch a caution early and give yourself a fighting chance at it. So definitely going to keep an eye out for that 71 truck, 71 truck, I should say. But yeah, right now not lined up to get things going. So I am noticing that a lot of drivers here right off the bat trying to save fuel right off the bat. So curious to see, is it going to be a fuel mileage question? I feel like it should be a pretty much guaranteed two-stop race, but we'll have to keep an eye on see what these trucks got on the fuel mileage side of things tonight.
Absolutely, and these truckers are right here on the backstretch heading into turn 3. Quickly before the green comes out, you've got Gabe Butler on pole, but really not a lot of help around. Got Richard Sanchez there in fourth, but other than that, no real teammates. Do you think Team Bootknocker, not having a couple of their guys here, might be at a disadvantage at a track like Atlanta? Do you think this might be the day that someone else steps up, like maybe Matt Wagner or Ryan Decker?
I mean, it's always a possibility. I mean, and that's why I do expect to see some of these guys try to kind of team up on when they get the opportunity. But only one way to find out here, Maxwell, as we're about to get going.
Absolutely. The pace truck is in, and race 2 of the playoffs for the Super Speedway Truck Series is green here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Matt Wagner gets a great jump from the start. He's going to draw side by side with Gabe Butler going into turn 1, but the 61 giving a big push to the 88 coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, not much anything that Matt can do there. So that inside line is always going to prevail to kick off. And yeah, Ryan Decker's proven to be a very, very good pusher here in his kind of short career that he's had thus far at Area 51. So, but man, that 61 does look a little wobbly. Saw it right off the get-go on getting through the gears there. Maybe a little bit of tire spin out of that 61, but Matt's getting a big push there. It was tight at the line. I believe Gabe led that lap, but it was very, very close between those two. As now Matt's getting a push from that teammate of Gabe Butler, of Richard Sanchez.
Absolutely, and we've talked about it, Gael, and we've talked with him. Matt Wagner wants a win so bad. He is an IndyCar connoisseur. He is great over there on the Tuesday night side of things. Ooh. And a big wiggle out of him. Oh, and into the wall. Is this going to be our first yellow? It is. The 510 going around here, and that's some big melee and carnage right there at the start.
Yeah, that's a big hit there, and saying that was Wall going for the lead too. That's a tough break for Matt. Also, some great job on the brakes there by a couple of those guys. Looks like Matt actually having to take a tow. And then yeah, I'm seeing a number of trucks on pit road. Not sure if it was maybe a push gone wrong or or just got a little bit unsettled. But yeah, I had a couple trucks there caught involved. Do see Eric Laurie now actually just rolling out onto pit road, but yeah, now the question is gonna be like said, Maxwell, is you're pulling it up to see who all involved on the playoff side of things, because that's always going to be the thing we have to focus on now.
Absolutely, just trying to find a good camera angle here. You see him get real loose into one, and that's easy to do here at Atlanta. The 510's up top. Matt's going to get in the wall, and when you kill that momentum there, there's just not much you can do. Oh, the 51 of Jim Brooks really just pile drives in there as well. And Everett Lane nowhere to go. Austin Call the 64 gets just a hair of it, but going to maybe just spin and be okay maybe. But some of these other guys, look at Kevin Freeze sneaking through there. Vicente Guerrero, just a lot of big hits here from a lot of guys. I mean, Vicente gets knocked into pit road, so he's going to have a penalty on top of that. Looks like Todd Siebel's starting in the back, trying to stay out of trouble. Is he going to lock it up in time? It looks like he does. That's amazing there, Guile. But
yeah, no, Todd is definitely a wreck avoidance master in that 45. Does some really, really good job to get by those wrecks. And I can actually confirm for Vicente Guerrero, he was able to get that penalty cleared as he was wrecked onto pit road. Wasn't anything intentional, so no positions gained or anything like that. So he's on pit road getting service done to his car. And yeah, now it's all about how many trucks involved. I've seen Vicente actually just leaving pit road now. Adam Kilday just rolling off now after about 40 seconds. Everett Lane, lengthy spot stop for him. He's up to about a minute 50. I think he actually had to take a tow along with Matt Wagner and Richard Sanchez. So again, talk about some of our playoff guys right off the bat. The 11 and the 510, I believe, both in the playoffs. So that's a big hit for these guys. Again, there's still a lot of time to go. But yeah, and then I don't believe, then the other part of that is Eric Laurie. I don't think he was on track in time. He could have been in the perfect spot to get one of his laps back there. So unfortunately, he's still sitting a few laps down. Double check my timing scoring, actually showing us 2 down. So that's going to be a tough break for him to start this off.
Absolutely tough start to this race for a couple of playoff contenders. I mean, look at it. Eric Laurie back there in 17th, Wagner 18th, Richard Sanchez 20th, and Robert Rock 21st. 4 drivers outside your top 17, and really 16th there with Todd Siebels. I mean, a lot of these guys not having the start of the race they were looking for. And you could almost say it was over-aggression there at the start, but Guile, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I really think it was a lot of guys just not knowing what that top side was going to have. And when you're on a clean track like this, man, it can really get loose in that second lane, especially on the start of the run here at Atlanta.
Yeah, and it's Atlanta. It's a whole different animal than Daytona, Talladega. I've definitely seen drivers, they kind of take this one a little differently, when to push, where to push. I think that was a lot of what we saw there tonight, or so far, I should say, tonight with that contact. I believe there's a little bit of a contact. Again, nothing malicious, just unfortunately a bump gone wrong between the 510 and the 11. And then yeah, Matt tried to catch, and it's just one of those things it's split second reactions, and he was probably just a fraction of a second a little bit too late in trying to catch that thing, and unfortunately caught the wall. And like you said, at that point, just the momentum shift, and there's just not much you can do. So did see a few drivers take their faster pairs there, so they're gonna have to try to keep it clean to the end. Unfortunately, we're gonna go back to green here with 70 to go.
Absolutely. First 5 laps in the book. Didn't take too long for our first yellow. Outside line, really not wanting to be too caught up here. But just a quick thing as we go back green here, we see Bud Steele up 13 spots from where he started. So a lot of guys, big movers early with that wreck. But side by side, we have Gabe Butler and James Moen. But these guys behind really did not want to be up next to that 7. And does that not surprise you just a little bit that those trucks were laying, in the 42 in the wall, it looks like?
Yeah, a little scuff of the wall by the 42. Yeah, he was the one that was kind of lagging back a little bit. I believe he opted to stay out, but I think hindsight probably wish he went ahead and hit Perez. They're 3 wide behind him here. And this is going to be that lucky dog battle now, I believe, right now between Matt Wagner and Richardson. Actually, I think Eric Laurie's in that fight as well. So yeah, so actually all these trucks right now are all 2 laps down. The 11, the 5, 10, and the...
in contact right there.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there with the 42 there. Man, these guys, this is going to be that race within a race, because the first of those guys that can get that lucky dog, that's going to put them to get the next one as well, as long as they're not involved. But up front, though, you saw, I see Bud Steele jumping to the top side there. However, that's got some boot knocker teammates now lined up on that inside of Gabe and Kevin.
Did not take Kevin Freeze long to be up plus 10 here in this race, did it, Gael? Didn't qualify. One wreck happens. Now here he is right behind his teammate, making moves and trying to just lead laps. So if you're Kevin, though, do you want to sit here and ride behind Gabe, or do you want to do what it takes to get around him? I mean, he's already got a hefty points lead. If you want to defend your championship, you would think you would want to get around fairly quickly since you're a little behind.
I would say yes, but I think right now, I think they're thinking track position more than anything. So I think right now Kevin's plan is just to try to keep Gabe ahead of these guys behind him. So I think that's what we're seeing right now out of that 25 and 88. If they can stay locked on pretty solidly together, that'll prevent Gary Winters and Josh Lassen and company from getting up to them and around them. Although as soon as I say that, you see Josh Lassen, he's going to jump up top, see if anybody wants to go. And the answer there is no. Nobody's going to try to take that top side with him, unfortunately. So he's going to lose some spots here because he's a lonely truck up top right now. So it's kind of got that inside line train, if you will, formed at the moment. We saw Bud earlier there, but now he's dropped down low as well. He's going to have to wait for that 41. It looks like Adam Kilday, who's going to start to lead that pack. And then now it's going to be, again, that battle of the lucky dogs right now. As you can see, Eric Laurie just ahead of Rick Sanchez. Right now, Eric's still sitting in that first spot of the driver's lap down.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got a lot of guys. No one currently showing as a single lap down. Most everybody is 2 laps down. So they're battling for a lucky dog, but it's just to get them one of the 2 laps back. So, but that could be huge, because if they can get that, then the very next caution, they're all but guaranteed the lucky dog as long as they stay out of trouble. So a lot of these guys, you see the outside lane starting to form now. We're, what, about 6 laps into this run. Do you think a lot of guys are staying on the bottom here for a tire wear perspective? Because we got to remember, here at Atlanta, these tires will still wear out slowly, even if it's just building heat. And in my experience on track, Gaio, you know, you get 10, 15 laps into the run, and that's when these things are really going to start getting darty and dicey.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of that, and I think it's also they just feel like the inside line is where they want to be. You don't have to stress out that truck to the inside of you, making sure they don't drift up too high, anything like that. So basically, you kind of live on what we usually call the yellow line here, the red and white line. You kind of just live there that way. All you have to worry about is what's to the right of you. However, I'll say I'm sure Mom's enjoying this right now because she's got her boys working that top side there, that 01 and 02, Patrick and Seth Gruber. I'll say they're kind of in the reverse order of where you would expect them to be, though, because you would think it'd be Patrick pushing Seth, but it's actually Seth pushing Patrick right now, and they're going to try to get to the front because you know Seth's still going to make a big charge for this title as well.
Absolutely, and you know, there's something about the Groovers I've learned over the years here with Area 51 Gael, and you want to know what that is? They are never content with just riding, are they? They want to be up here leading every single lap, leading no matter what. They don't care about saving fuel. They don't care about saving tire. They just want to get up here and race. And, hey, they put on one heck of a show when they're here because they are side by side with those boot knocker teammates trying to get a run. Josh Laston there, third in the outside lane, trying to give a big push. And now all of a sudden the outside lane that wasn't there a few laps ago coming to life here.
Yeah, they've got a really good group of guys. Like I said, I mean, again, we talked about the kind of the duo. Probably one of the best duos in the league is these two right there with Patrick and Seth. And then Josh Lawson, again, he's new to the league, but he's definitely shown that he's a good leader. He's a good pusher as well. So he's a really good third truck in that line. And you can see he's staying a lot tighter to the 01 and the 02, whereas you see the 66 of Gary Winters is leaving maybe a quarter to half of a truck length off of the 25. And that does play a role because you can kind of keep that momentum built up there with that third truck, kind of keep that air, if you will, pushing forward. The tighter that third truck is to them, but you can still see there's a little bit of that side-to-side movement. But what's happening right now, though, is Kevin and Gabe, I mean, they're basically driving two trucks as if they're one, and I think that's what's really keeping them ahead of the field at the moment. Kevin's just, I think, pushing only when he has to, and, I mean, he's making it look easy.
Absolutely, and that kind of leads me to what I wanted to ask you here, Gael. Do you think the bottom line is preferred over the top, or do you think it changes throughout the run? Maybe one's preferred early on and then it changes halfway through the run, or do you think the outside lane's going to have a chance here, or is that bottom lane just too strong?
I think both lanes are honestly pretty equal. I think it's just right now it's just Kevin and Gabe are doing too good of a job to keep those two behind them up on the top side. However, once we get a little bit further into this run, then yes, I'm going to say, you know what? it's not even because of speed. It's because you want to be on the bottom. We've had a couple races recently where a driver on the second lane didn't have an opportunity to get to the inside line before green flag pit stops, and unfortunately either had to drop all the way to the back of the field there or try to squeeze in there. And unfortunately, we've had a couple times where that's brought out a caution and had an incident from it. So there's definitely pros and cons. Usually the general thinking is the outside line kind of carries that momentum on the exit of the turns and has a little bit more speed because you kind of have to keep the bottom pinched right now. But you can see that Gabe and Kevin, they have the momentum and the gap, I should say, where they can drift it off the bottom a little bit out of the turns. You saw them do it there out of 4, maybe drift up at maybe a lane, half lane or so, to help kind of unwind those trucks and build a little bit more momentum on the exit. So right now, yeah, I mean, Gabe and Kevin, I mean, they're pretty much just showing the field what they can do. And as you say, you're on board here with Kevin as we speak. And I mean, it's just these guys, like I said, they make it look easy week in and week out. And it kind of frustrates me sometimes because, like, man, I wish I could do what these guys do.
And you just see them here, right? I mean, Kevin tucked up behind that truck, not a ton of wiggle, seeing a little twitch in the wheel here and there, but really, honestly, holding a smooth wheel. And you just see, even in the corner on exit, do you see just the smooth transition, staying with that 88? That produces big speed, even if you're not right on the bumper. And you even see Gabe Butler moving up from time to time to give Kevin the air he needs to that truck to keep it cool. So definitely a lot of teamwork movement going on, and you see what's happening here. They're not even allowing that third lane to get to them anymore, and they're almost starting to pull just a slight little gap. Obviously not pull away, but a slight little gap on that 66 of winners, and I think it's just because these guys are that tough.
Yeah, no, it is, and that's the thing. This is definitely a track where you can make a difference, even with the draft. I'll say, and that's what you're seeing here is, even though the draft is keeping the field with them, what you're seeing right now is Kevin and Gabe actually kind of just their talents and abilities are able to give themselves that breathing room of maybe a truck length or half a truck length. Ooh, we saw right there the 7 drift up just a teeny bit on entry. I saw the 01 and 02 have to react to that just a tiny bit, but yeah, if it's like if you think about like the next gens, I mean, those cars actually, if you can tandem up, you can sometimes leave some of the pack behind you. That could have been the situation with these two hooked up together, just with what they're able to do. But man, these guys are getting a little wobbly now, though. So actually, you mentioned tire wear. Maybe that would maybe move the line a little bit towards the second lane, and they are starting to move a little bit back forward. Either the groupers have regrouped together, or maybe that inside line starting to give up a little bit of traction, if you will, on the inside line. Because yeah, here they come.
I've always felt like the inside lane was the place to be the first 10 laps, and then after that, it's time to move up a lane to allow that truck to have a little bit wider of a radius. Is a big wiggle from Seth Groover there, but not going to lift. These two push about as well as Gabe and Kevin, in my opinion, when they do link up. And man, they're showing the way here tonight, trying to battle side by side for the lead. Got a little bit of help up top. A lot of movement, though, from Seth on that back bumper. Really makes me think that's what's keeping them stalled out. And the 66 sliding way up the track there, almost going to cause an incident, but decides to get back down in his lane where he was at. So definitely think these trucks might be losing the handle and just that inside lane getting slower.
I think the handle's starting to go away, and I actually heard the drivers key up right there saying that basically, yeah, you might need to start breathing it a little bit on entry to keep that truck rotating. I think a lot of these guys are probably foot to the floor there. As you see Michael Mayu on the inside line, just basically pretty much rolling way slow to let the leaders on by as he joined in late. Is multiple laps down, unfortunately. So, again, the respect given from the competitors here is always nice to see. But, yeah, you can see right now, though, man, Kevin and Gabe are doing everything they can, but now the momentum is definitely shifted to that second lane, like you mentioned, Maxwell. And even Gabe, they're just drifting just a teeny bit off the bottom. I think those tires are starting to show that inside line is wearing those tires a little more than the outside line here, but we're getting very close here to that first pit stop window, so I want to see kind of who's going to blink first to jump on a pit road. So far, nobody's called a pit stop out yet.
Absolutely, and big move from Seth, ditching the brother there to get down to that inside lane. Might be thinking pit strategy here, so do you think these guys might be pitting sooner than we would imagine, or do you think it's just some people are ready to pit for handling reasons only?
I think there's some nerves about getting trapped on the outside line, and I think that's why Seth did that. But now that I say that, he's actually gone back to the top here, so a little surprised about that as well. unless maybe they're just trying to switch their running order around. Remember, I talked about at the beginning, I expected it to be Patrick pushing Seth, not the other way around. So maybe they decide, hey, you know what? Seth's the one going for the championship here. Let me get Patrick behind me, but it seems a little bit late in the run to make that call. However, it's not taking long for them to recover.
Big head of steam, Gael. Look at the train coming. But we know that 3 trucks together can make just as much speed as a whole pack, and we're starting to see it. Josh Laston trying to stay glued with those groovers here, and they've made it to the quarter panel of Kevin Freeze, and they're almost going to be side by side up to Gabe Butler maybe coming on the exit, and those trucks are going to be cooler running this way than the 25 and the 88. I would almost expect these guys to make a move to clear here.
Yeah, it was like, so tight there in turn 1 there, though, 2 and 88 just about touching doors. And yeah, they just called now Gabe Butler. He is going to pit this time by, so here comes the strategies. We'll see, can everybody react in time, and this is where everybody's got to be careful here.
Can they make it from here on the rest of the race length, or do they need one more stop, you think? Oh, and we got a crash! Is it going to bring the yellow out, though? Did he save it?
Green.
I didn't see if he clipped pit road to have an incident there, but maybe the admins would clear that. But still trying to gather that thing up. Now that truck's going to need some tires for sure, but that just changed up everything. Did Gabe Butler and company still pit?
Yeah, I'm trying to take a look now as everything's still kicking off here. And yeah, I'm trying to see what all happened here. I don't know if, because even the drivers are trying to discuss what all occurred there. And yeah, it doesn't look, that's wild. So yeah, it looks like Gabe still is able to hit pit road. I'm trying to see about anybody that maybe had any speeding penalties, anything of that, but so far I think everybody's gotten away with it. But yeah, and I said now it's all about hitting the pit road. So now I think the 7's on pit road. We saw a few drivers pit that second time around, so it's all kicking off here quickly. Oh, another close call there on entry.
It looks like these guys are really loose. Is he going to make entry? Yes, the commitment line is farther back down pit road, so the 7 of James Moen going to make it down here. But are you surprised that Kevin has not pitted and that Team Bootknocker is on a split strategy up front? That's kind of their Achilles heel of getting these guys on strategy, but splitting up, I don't know what the game plan is here, Gael. This is unethical of these guys.
Yeah, it's a little off of what we're used to seeing. As here comes Kevin. I saw also the 09. Actually, here comes Matt Wagner as well. And look at all those trucks getting loose, getting on the binders there. It looks like they're all on pit road now. Jim Brooks is the last truck to stay out here to try to run along, but I'm a little surprised to see the split strategy. I thought they would pit together and try to break away from the field, because right now, once everybody finishes their pit stops, this field is going to be very spread out.
Now, if Jim can make 3 or 4 more laps, could he not make it with just one stop, you think?
He has yet to make, he did pit under yellow, but he still has to make his pit. Here he comes now. He's going to make that pit stop here. Oh, a big slide. This one's going to be a little less recoverable. He's going to save it, though. That's going to cost him a handful of seconds, unfortunately. So just a little too aggressive there. Kevin Freeze actually just now leaving pit road here in the 25. And now it's going to be, again, we're going to have to see where everybody cycles in and out in relation to each other, because right now, Kevin's got a nice, healthy margin over the rest of the field. A great in and out for that 25.
There's contact between the 7 and the 61 there. Definitely. Did you see that puff of smoke from those trucks, Gael?
I did not. I'm going to go back.
And we got Siebels going around here. There's a lot of action going on. Is he going to wreck right here?
Oh, he just hung on to it, though, so he's back. I think this is maybe serving a penalty for Todd Siebels, possibly an unsafe exit. And man, this is getting pretty wild. But right now, Kevin Freeze, I don't know what he did. I'm looking at his pit stop time, and it wasn't anything amazing compared to everybody else. But he has a 2-second lead. If it wasn't for it being a super speedway track, he'd be 11 life right now. But he knows at some point he's going to get swallowed up by the pack right now. As Gabe Butler's got a little bit of a margin ahead of now to Matt Wagner, and it looks like Ryan Decker. And yeah, it's just this field is starting to split up in a couple groups now.
Now, we've got Matt Wagner here. I know he's 2 laps down, but man, he's getting big pushes from people. He's going to be aggressive to get one of these laps back, isn't he? Yes, there it is. He's not going to stick behind these Bootknocker guys. He's going to try to take momentum and go away, but there's the 510 going to try to work with Gabe, and that's going to negate anything that Matt Wagner was trying to accomplish here. because I don't think these guys running side by side is going to make a whole lot of sense. But once they get to Kevin, this is going to get really interesting because that could slow down that inside lane quite a bit.
Yeah, no, it really is. And I say, here's the momentum. This is what Gabe's going to need to do. Or sorry, what Matt's going to need to do is he is able to clear.
Are they both going to clear? They do.
Yes, he is. Big move there. That puts Ryan Decker to lead. Big slide by Kevin Freeze. I think a little contact between he and Gabe Butler. These guys are getting very dicey, real wobbly here. But Kevin's able to save it. Now Gabe's going to swing on by on the inside. But actually right now, Lucky Dog, I believe, is actually sitting in the hands of Todd Siebels after his pit penalty. But right now he is about a half a lap ahead of Matt Wagner. So that would become the Lucky Dog battle. But yeah, right now, though, Ryan Decker probably Matt Wagner's best friend right here. If he can keep those group behind him, I think that's definitely his end goal right now, to stay that one down. Because even if it doesn't get the Lucky Dog, though, a yellow here would be huge for Matt, because he, like I said, he'd be going from the 2 down to the 1 down. So this is, yeah, I mean, everybody's coming out swinging here so far tonight, Maxwell.
Absolutely, and thinking about this, if they catch Siebels, I mean, Matt Wagner's in the best spot for him, because no one really wants to care to pass him because he's not for position. And if I'm that 61, I can just kind of chill out behind Wagner and know I've got a drafting partner. And when people try to make runs on the outside, I can try to defend it there with big pushes. So definitely interesting strategy here, and I kind of like the position here for the 61 if he can stay behind. Gabe Butler is right there looming with another teammate in the 510 behind him. So Kevin Freeze looks like he's going to slot about 6th in line, but 4th in the running order. So definitely had things shake up. And there goes the 510. He's going to work with the 25, and they might try to see if they can have a battle for the Lucky Dog as the 7 went around back in the back. He's still sliding. And I don't know if this is a scheduled pit stop, but he is speeding for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be a penalty, I believe, for the 7. That looked way too hot.
Makes me wonder if he's just having to leave the session for something here, because he came in awful hot, like he really didn't care. So be interesting to get an update. Yeah, it'd be interesting to get an update on that. But up front here, there's going to be a battle within the battle here. A Lucky Dog, well, not a Lucky Dog battle just yet, but the battle to be just 1 lap down here. And once they catch Siebels, it will be the battle for the Lucky Dog. So definitely an interesting sort of. Oh, and Kevin, big loose, going to get in the wall, and that's going to take Seth Groover with him. And these guys are still on fresher rubber here. This is very interesting how this is all shaping up. But Kevin was aggressive on that outside early. And let me tell you, that outside lane is definitely loose on fresh tires. You really don't want to push too hard up there until you got about 10 laps or so on the tires. And in my experience, but I haven't been in a truck in quite a while here. So
yeah, this is not. I say these trucks are a handful. I mean, there's no questioning that, because they're getting some of the best out there. So. And yeah, no yellow from that, because they were both able to keep their trucks pointed in the right direction. So iRacing deemed that they're able to keep it clean and green here. So that's now shrunken this lead pack now down to 4 drivers in the lead pack that are on the lead lap. But like I said, you still have a couple of lap down trucks there of Matt Wagner leading it, and then the 510 of Rick Sanchez as the kind of the caboose, if you will. Then you got to go about 5 seconds back to Vicente here, who's with Austin Call. But yeah, this is pretty crazy with the way everything's shaking out right now. Because I mean, again, you don't expect those things. I was saying some of these drivers are talking about, like, hey, maybe it's because we didn't take tires, maybe only took 2, and just yeah, these trucks. Maybe it's within the most recent iRacing update, but these things are a handful here tonight.
Absolutely, they are. So definitely got these guys trying to catch up. But back to the front here. This is like Matt Wagner's dream right now. Just having those guys being content, pushing, running single file here. His competitor in the 510 stuck back in 6 with no help from behind to try to move up. So definitely looking good right now. And these guys, probably after seeing all that action, just are like, hey, this is getting crazy. There's no yellows getting thrown. I don't need to lose my track position. Just going to ride here and hang out. So while we've got time, I would like to go back here to the 25. Kevin Friesen, yeah, let's look at some of that damage there on that truck. It's definitely interesting, Guy. You see that right rear damage?
Yeah, a little bit of right rear damage. Yeah, saying he and Austin Call were just talking to each other. Austin saying, hey, I'm limping a little bit of damage as well. If you want to, maybe we try to switch orders here. And so yeah, so Kevin's got that right rear damage. Austin's got a little bit of door damage on the right side as well. So I don't think it's going to hurt those guys too much, especially with Vicente kind of leading the draft. They're kind of pulling the air for them. So I think they'll be okay in that sense. But lap time wise, they're definitely off the pace of the lead pack right now. But yeah, and that's the other thing too now here, Maxwell, is up front you got Ryan Decker leading. Then you got Gabe Butler, Bud Steele, Josh Laston. I believe right now, if you go by team numbers and advantage, it would be the 10 and the 61. I believe they are working together, if I'm not mistaken, in Discord. I'll go back and check. But right now, Gabe's kind of the odd man out, except for his teammate who's 2 laps down right now in that 510, which, I mean, he'll help him if he gets the opportunity. But yeah, right now, though, Matt Wagner, Josh Laston are in the same Discord channel, as are the 61 and the 10. So Ryan Decker, Bud Steele, I would expect that partnership to continue. And then same goes for the 09 and the 11.
Absolutely. And, Gael, based on the previous stops, we're really not that far away from some of these guys probably making their final pit stop of the race. And in a group of 6, I mean, this could be detrimental if you don't sit here and get a great stop, right? I mean, you're going to have to absolutely nail it. You got lap trucks mixed in here, and if you are off even a second or 2 on pit road, it could cost you so much time on track not getting in the lead draft.
Yeah, it really can. And the other thing is, do you pit early? Do you wait until the absolute last moment to pit? Because this is a track where you will go a lap down if you pit. It's not like a Daytona Talladega where you can pit and stay on the lead lap. So and then do you rethink your strategies? Say, hey, I went ahead and I took Feel Lonely. I'm going to take 2 this time. I'm going to take 4 this time just because you didn't like the way it felt. This is going to be a lot of tough decision making for some of these guys to figure out what's going to be the right decision to make. See Gabe actually coming up top here. I think he's trying to get some clean air probably on that 88, help that truck maybe turn a little bit, maybe starting to lose a little bit of the handle on the draft as well. So but yeah, pit window wise though, I think we're officially in the window to make it to the end here. Next time it'll be 25 to go. But again, I don't think you pit until you absolutely have to. I don't risk short pitting. I think it's just too big of a risk as spread out as this field is right now.
Absolutely. And you talk about the strategies on pit road. It makes me wonder. I didn't think of this guy, Al, and it makes me feel bad as a broadcaster that I didn't, but it's interesting to think that these guys might have actually chose not to take tires or only take 2, and maybe that's why we saw somebody like Kevin Freese just go in the corner and just lose it, right? I mean, in my opinion, Atlanta's still Atlanta. Even with the new configuration, the new pavement, it is still Atlanta. And in my experience, if I had the choice, I'm going to take the 4 tires over the 2 any day to know that I can be on the offense instead of having to drive defense.
And I'm looking at length of pit stops, and right now the top 5 trucks the top 4 trucks in the lead pack right now, from Ryan Decker, Gabe Butler, Bud Steele, Josh Laston, they all had 14, 15-second pit stops. As I say that, Vicente, Kevin, and Austin are on pit road together, getting their final schedule stop done. Gabe Butler just called out that he's going to hit pit road in that 88. The 510 is going to come with him. And it looks like these other guys are going to go a little further here, Matt Wagner, Ryan Decker, and company. So the final pit stop cycle has opened.
Absolutely. We see those 2 guys peel off onto pit lane just by themselves here, though. I don't know that 2 trucks are going to make just a ton of speed. And, I mean, we saw Gabe Butler didn't get quite the stop that some of them other guys did earlier, and that could have been just the tire difference. But if I'm these guys, I'm thinking 4 tires again, aren't you, Gael?
I mean, it seems like it worked, and now you've got a bigger gap to the guys around you. So I think you're right. I think 4 might be the way to go here. And so everybody's going to start hitting pit road. Actually, not everybody, just a couple of them. It looks like the 61 and the 10, they both make it in. But that was a hustle, though, for both those guys. I think they got all they could here. So Josh Laston, though, he stays out with Matt Wagner. He is going to take over the lead of this race. And right now we're going to have a number of drivers here right on the edge of a lap down or a lap down or more. So now it's all about kind of who blinks next. But right now Josh is going a little long.
Absolutely. And if I was him, I would be telling Matt, let's pit this time, let's pit this time. But they're going to choose to stay out even another lap longer. I just don't know that 2 trucks, Gael, really makes the speed that it needs to get around here with efficient lap time. I think you really need 3 or more. 3 seems to be the magic number when it comes to making just raw speed around these racetracks. And 2, I just don't know that that's going to be enough here. But, hey, these guys race week in and week out, so you got to trust their opinions here a little bit. Or maybe, just maybe, they're hoping for a yellow to try to make things a little better for them.
Yeah, I think that might be what it is just, hey, let's see if we can trap a bunch of the field a lap down here and have a clean pit stop. Ooh, Josh gets loose there entering turn one. But yeah, because right now there's only a handful left. There's only 8 drivers on the lead lap still. The last of those who I feel like could pit the latest would be Jim Brooks in the 51, as he pitted on lap 33. Josh Lassen did pit at 32, though. So these guys can still go a little bit further. They went about 4 to 5 laps longer than the guys that have already made their pit stops. So we'll see. Oh, we'll hear driver keying up. Apologies. Yep, there it is. Caution out here. And that is exactly what they were hoping for, to try to trap some drivers a lap down. And unfortunately, Austin Call involved. We'll have to go back, take a look at it, Maxwell. But that was the exact thing that those guys were staying out and hoping for, because now they have a green caution flag pit stop with everybody else at a lap down.
And that just changed everything. Let's go back and let's see if we can look at what happened here. Oh, and it was in this big pack. I think I can already tell you what happened, but let's get a good camera view on it. Let's see them kind of here going into the corner. Let's see what kind of camera view we can get. It's going to show us some good detail. Let's look at this one here and just see what's going on. So the 64 kind of up out of the lane in that second groove. Seth Groover never. Oh, is that a little bit of net code there, Gael? Do you see
it looks
kind
like
of
a little bit
wiggle?
yeah, because there was gap between them there, and then as saying, or that, or maybe he just got loose on entry, but then yeah, unfortunately that second contact's what's going to send him completely around, and tries to catch it, and then unfortunately Everett Lane, just wrong place, wrong time. Same thing for, I believe that is Bob Fitzgerald. Yeah, it is in the 08. So
that truck barrel rolled.
Yeah, he did a good little barrel roll there and then took a toe to pit road. But like you said, that was exactly what those guys that had stayed out were hoping for. They wanted to have that green flag pit stop, and that's what they got. And it looks like, I believe, after pit stops are going to be completed here, I think Jim Brooks is going to win that race off pit road over the 09 of Josh Lassen. So I believe the 510, or sorry, yeah, the 51 is going to net the lead here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm showing Taylor Reeves, as the leader right now, but he is yet to pit, so I expect to see him jump in here. And Maxwell, I'm not sure if you're spying on the YouTube chat, but we've got a Gary Slapinski peeking in there, and he not talking to me though. He wants to talk to you.
Absolutely, the man, the myth, the legend, Gary there ran with Area 51 a couple of seasons in the Premier Series, especially when we were running the next gens. One heck of a racer. Believe he's also run this Thursday Truck Series. I think I remember being on track with him, pushing him around a little bit. So nice to see you here tonight, Gary. Hope you're doing well and hope you're enjoying the action here on Green White Checker TV. And it's been action packed, really. It's just been one of those deals where we've had a lot of yellows that weren't yellows there, Gael. And something we haven't talked about, and I want to ask you, is how does this race tonight really shake up the playoff standings? I mean, look at a lot of these guys and where they are now. I mean, they're all
right now,
sorts of split up.
There's a lot of wave rounds you see coming by right now. And so here's my concern right now that I'm watching. I'm watching Jim Brooks, who's our leader, mentioned he got around Josh Lassen on pit road. The reason for that, 2 tires. Josh took 4, Jim took 2. Under caution, I think 4 tires would have been the right call there. If I'm the crew chief of the 51, I'm saying you take 4 there, because we've seen 2 tires make these trucks very unsettled. And I'm also looking at timing and scoring. And so now Matt Wagner staying out, he did get one of those 2 laps back. So now he sits just 1 down along with Todd Siebels. So that's going to be the lucky dog battle. And then from 12th on up, these drivers all on the lead lap, a bunch of them get in the waiver rounds here. So so right now those drivers that pitted there from Jim Brooks back to, I believe, Seth Groover. So those are going to be all of our lead lap drivers here. So it's going to be interesting here.
And a lot of stuff has changed up in our running order too. If you look on the ticker, it's going to get ready to change. Look there. Matt Wagner and Todd Siebels just 1 lap down. Sanchez and Laurie actually losing an extra lap, now 3 down. So it's still not over. Cautions breed cautions, and Matt Wagner could get that lap back, and then we could really have a chase for the title here as he tries to make a big recovery. But we've seen races stolen before. Jim Brooks has definitely been one to sneak in when everybody else has had bad nights. And as the green flag gets ready to go back in the air, Jim Brooks is going to lead you here at Atlanta Motor Speedway with just 16 laps to go. Getting a big push there from the 66 of Gary Winters going off into turn 1. And the outside lane really starting to form here. But a lot of shaky. Gary Winters, he's not content. He wants to go to the lead. And there's that 42 in the wall again back there.
Yeah, and I think saw some go to the inside wall there. I think that was Todd Steeles having to make some avoiding action there. And I think everybody's going to get by okay. But, yeah, some craziness to start off with. And unfortunately, Jim felt like he was probably in the right spot at the right time. But, yeah, Gary Winters said, I'm going to go to the top here. I'm going to take the lead. But now he's got to defend here from that 0-1 of Patrick Groover. And then again, Josh Lassen took 4 tires under that green flag pit stop as well. So, yeah, it was a great start for Jim, but maybe too good of a start. Oh, we got one down on the apron. That's Eric Laurie. I think he's just trying to back out of this, maybe try to keep that truck clean. Oh, and Josh Lassen, actually, he's got a pit penalty. He's coming on pit road. Now he's going to try to get it well down. Ooh, that was close.
That was very close. You really got to make sure you're on the binders big time here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And you know, as we see Gabe Butler try to go by himself to the outside of this line of 3, do these guys not know that Jim Brooks pretty well runs Area 51? Like, why would you not want to push him to the lead, right? Get a little brownie points, get on his good side, right? But, man, they just ditched him. But that shows just how competitive this league is, doesn't it, Gaio? That these guys are out for blood, especially on Thursday nights. I mean, I remember being in this field. Even if your teammates, when it comes to the end, it's take no prisoners. I mean, it is absolutely a beatdown, and it is every man for himself. And I'm sure my buddy watching there, Gary, he can agree to that there in the chat, that these guys are all after one thing, and that's a big trophy here tonight. Forget that championship. They just want to win a race here at Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm saying the thing is that 51 truck might have green on it, but it doesn't have green on the ticker on the timing and scoring. So they said, hey, you're not a playoff guy. I don't want to be behind you. I need to get every playoff point I can. And that's what Gary Winters is going for. He wants to swing for the fences here. He wants to try to get that win, get some bonus points. But here comes Gabe. He found a teammate. He might be 3 laps down. And
oh, there goes the block.
Try to protect it.
He's going to go for it, and it's going to be successful here. He's going to block. And that's what I've been looking for all season long, Gaio, is someone to put a fight to Team Bootknocker. And Gabe Butler showing his displeasure, putting a big bump to him, but he's still going to come out with the lead. Gary Winters is going to sit here and lead this race. He's not going to give it up. Look for another move just like that again.
Yeah, he's gonna be real busy. He's got to figure out, is he gonna block the top or is he gonna block the bottom? And he's gonna get split if he's not careful. Just gets the bottom time. But look at Kevin Freese. He's trying to jump the 3rd lane to the outside of his teammate there. And so Rick Sanchez now in a tough spot, kind of behind a teammate, next to a teammate. And this is gonna be very tight.
Absolutely. And look, Gary said it best in the chat. They're all going for the win. That's what you're seeing right now. Coming to 10 laps to go here in the race. These 10 laps are going to fly by on 1.5 miles at these speeds. But believe it or not, after dang near going a lap down and having to take that wave around, Gabe Butler back to the lead. Is anybody able to stop that man and Team Bootknocker in this series?
Well, I'm looking, and I see a good fight behind him, and that's going to be that 0-1 and the 0-2, Patrick Seth Groover. They're both on the lead lap here, sitting in the main pack, but now they got to try to push that 510 here past Gabe Butler, or they got to try to see if they can spit him out and get him in the outside of the draft here, because right now they're pretty much pinned behind him, so Gabe's in a great spot with a teammate to his outside, and then kind of protecting the inside line. So watch at some point. I think the 0-1 and the 0-2, they're going to try to see if they can ditch that 510. I say, again, nothing against them, but they're going to want to find a way to round and try to get the lead of this race here. Because like you said, these laps click very, very quickly at a 1.5 mile oval.
Absolutely they do. And Kevin Freese trying everything he can to see if he can recover back up through the field here. But got a lot of movement. And looks like Seth and Patrick going to swap positions.
Yep.
And last time they did that, they really started making some hay here. But they're going to have to do this and do this quick. And I think that 510 of Richard Sanchez is going to be a big rolling roadblock for them. Not on purpose, but just 3 laps down, knowing that a teammate's in the lead. He's going to do everything he can to help that teammate. But look at Seth trying to root him up out of the groove. That's going to be what it takes to probably make a big run here at the end.
Oh no, yeah, he's gonna probably have to use them up, or at least make a move that maybe Rick's not expecting. I saw for a moment Gary had maybe a slight chance to sneak in front of Rick there and try to get to the top or the middle, if you will. But Rick was able to get right back up there. So yeah, and you see, look at Kevin Freeze. He's going to try to jump the third lane on his own right now because he doesn't have the numbers, but he's got the momentum here. He's able to keep that truck wound up top here. Although here comes the 01. He's thinking about up top here. And they're coming up on traffic as well, so we'll have to keep an eye and see where the 08 goes. So yeah, it's getting busy here.
Do we make it to the checkers without another yellow? Because I'm starting to think we don't here.
I think Green White Checkered TV is going to have a Green White Checkered or two tonight, because this is not what you expect to see. Well, it's what you expect to see, but you don't expect this to make it clean and green to the end, because they're doing like Talladega here at a very narrow Atlanta Motor Speedway with 5 to go.
But there's no, in the 01 there in the wall just a little bit, shows how little room there is. And look, Mr. Aggressive himself, Vicente Guerrero, racing his way up here. You know he's going to try to make some noise since he hasn't been able to all night long. He's like, hey, I'm not in these playoffs. I have nothing to lose. Let's let it rip, and let's see what we can do here tonight. And contact in the back. Big contact.
Oh, they stayed pointing the right direction.
Wow, just drove right into him, Gael. Interesting there, but just 4 to go. Got to keep our attention on the race lead here. The 510 going to get a run, but again, I just don't know that he might not, I don't want to say the word sandbag, but I don't know why he would try to pass Gabe Butler and even give an opportunity for Gabe to lose this race.
Well, I mean, he's definitely not lifting. I mean, his foot's to the floor. It's all about who's that second truck pushing. And so, yeah, these guys are pushing for all there's
there could be the wreck right here. They get tight. They save it, though. Big save. And Seth into the 51. Oh, this is going to cause a yellow, I think, right here. Is it not?
Big hit. No, it is. Big
there
hit.
It is. Yeah, big
hit. That just the contact there at the end there, and there's just nothing that the 51 could do. He gets into the grass, and that truck's just basically at that point, he's just along for the ride. But it was only
Wagner's in it. Jim Brooks is in it. We're going to have to go back, and we kept our eye right here on this truck because we know that this is where it all started. And you, commentators curse, Gael. Green White Checker TV going to live up to its name here tonight. Let's go back and see what happened here.
Yeah, we'll take a look. All
right, going to have to back this up just a little bit.
Because you can see kind of where they all wind up going there.
And you see how long it took for the yellow to come out. And honestly, this might be one of our better views here, Gael. So I'll let you kind of commentate through it. Share with us what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, you see Jim's on the inside there, but then again, you're 3 wide, almost 4 wide there, and then just you're fighting for the real estate, and really just the 50 on the O2. They're trying to get into the same spot. There's not a lot that you can do at that point. I feel like it was going to be a tough ask no matter what. But you can see the O2 tries to hang on to it, and then he's going to slide up there onto the track. And I don't believe he was the yellow, because that truck stayed pointed, as they say, stayed pointed straight, but not so much. But then you see in the foreground, you see Jim Brooks, as soon as he got onto the asphalt, unfortunately Matt Wagner takes the brutal hit to end his night.
Big hit.
But you saw, though, as soon as the transition from the grass to the asphalt happened, you could see that truck was locking it down. And so for Jim, he couldn't do anything. You're on the grass. It's like being on ice in iRacing. And so, unfortunately, that was pretty much all he could do at the end. So, a tough end for him. He was going for the win there, just couldn't make it happen. So now what we have, though, is we talked about, we're going to have our green-white checkers here. The question, of course, will be, do the trucks have the fuel to make it to the end? And I'm seeing a handful of trucks here. Looks like from Bud Steele on back, went ahead and hit pit road.
Bud still has some damage in that, I know, from hitting Jim.
Yeah, Bud had some damage. I think he went ahead and took that fast repair. And Patrick and Seth are both on pit road right now as well, I believe, coming out together. I'm trying to see. I don't see any super big damage to those trucks, so I think maybe fast repairs there as well. But yeah, I mean, we're going to only have a handful of trucks here on the lead lap in this one. So like you said, now it's all about where the teammates are. And this is going to be intriguing, because what you're going to have is you're going to have teammates on the inside, and we've seen how good those two teammates are together on the inside line. But then we've also seen Gary Winters. He's made some big aggressive moves. He's got a really good team, really good pusher in the 61 behind him as well. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting here.
Absolutely, for sure. Gotta reset it for you here as these drivers are going to get ready, I believe, to double up here for the restart. Gabe Butler is your leader. Gary Winter second, and Kevin Freeze recovered nicely to third. But look at the rest of this top five. Ryan Decker and Vicente Guerrero, they're in the top five. Now, those two could really change the outcome of this race, I believe, and I think you're going to have to watch at 14 and 61. Going on through, you've got Bud Steele there in, sorry. Adam Kilday in sixth. Bud Steele in seventh. Patrick Groover in eighth. Seth Groover in ninth. I mean, for those guys pitting, they're not in bad spots. And Todd Siebel, last car on the lead lap in the top 10. So half of the field on the lead lap, half of the field a lap down. Kind of got 20 vehicles on track currently. 22, I'm sorry, took the race start. 11 of them are a lap down or more, and the top 10 are the only ones on the lead lap. So I think anyone in this top 10 can win it still, though, Gael. But it's going to take a big act if you're in the back.
I'm going to be watching from Bud on back because they took 4 tires, so they've got fresh tires, and we've seen that handling does matter. And, I mean, yeah, it's only a quick green light checkered here, but if we get more than one, that could change everything. So I'm going to be watching Gabe and Kevin, though. Do they jump a little early, try to catch everybody else sleeping a little bit, or do they go on the green, keep everybody bunched up? So we'll see.
Oh, here they go. Going early in this restart zone with just 2 laps to go. Green, white, checkered here on Green, White, Checkered TV. Big jump for those two, and I think that's going to be a bad thing to have that big of a jump. These guys behind are all going to gather up and get some big momentum, but they're going to have to do it rather quickly because we're already a half a lap through here. Atlanta really not as big as Talladega and Daytona. So here they go into 3 and 4 for the second to final time, and there goes the big move on the outside, Gael.
I think it was too soon, though. I think they should have stayed in the draft a little longer and try to make the move. And, yeah, and that was what I was afraid of. If they start fighting each other, that's going to make it even better for Kevin and Gabe. You can see Ryan Decker, he wanted to go top, couldn't do it, and that's going to give momentum back to these two. But look at the top, the 0-1, the 0-2. They're all jumping around trying to get position. As we got contact at the back, the white's out, though, so at this point we will race to the finish, and we'll see who gets there first.
They're keeping it straight, but there it is, the 61 and Vicente. I told you, going to have to watch those two drivers. They're going to push for everything they're worth. Vicente a little too much. He's going to get tagged by Seth Groover, and that's going to kill this outside lane. What's going to happen here? Gabe Butler's going to get, second win in the playoffs already? Kevin Freeze second, and Decker third. Bud Steele fourth, and Seth Groover going to come out with a top 5. They tried to make the move, but the teamwork just wasn't there.
Yeah, no, there's just too much. I say there's 2 things I think that went wrong there. It was that the Gary Winters, I think he moved up too soon. He needed to stay behind that inside line a little longer. And then I believe then, like I said, then the 61 and the 66 are kind of jumping around. And, yeah, it was. But, yeah, I mean, Gabe put himself in the right place at the right time, had a great teammate lined up behind him. And I say they do what they do best here and able to grab another one, too.
Absolutely. So, Gael, if you're ready, I think we can go ahead and start talking to our top 3 finishers here. So we're going to grab third place, and I'm going to let you do that for us, Gael. So here we go. Grabbing third place here, Ryan Decker. See if we can get the replay back going here.
Pull Ryan on in here tonight. And Ryan, you started third, you finished third, but I feel like it was a little bit more eventful than starting third and finishing third because it was wild tonight. Take us through your night.
Oh, yeah, it was real wild. I mean, these trucks were all over. I mean, just trying to kind of keep it clean and keep it out of harm's way is a big task.
Absolutely. We noticed the handling issues and seemed to be on the beginning of the runs. You really wanted to stay toward the bottom, but maybe after 10, 15 laps, you really started to move up top to make the grip. What was your experience with the truck tonight? Is that kind of what you saw out there, or do I have it all wrong here?
Dude, I was just riding. To be honest with you, just trying to kind of stay in with everybody, and just I knew after the pit stops and also all the pit cycles, I mean, we were going to be all scattered up and everything, and I thought we were going to have a good run with me and Bud and Gabe and Richard there, but then that late race caution just kind of threw everything for a jumble, and then it was all heck break loose and then after that.
Yeah, and so I think the seemed like the story of tonight though with those green flag pit stops was the strategy of 2 tires, 4 tires, fuel only. Because we saw some of the guys that were pretty much all of you guys that were in that main pack prior to that late caution. You guys actually took 4 on the first go around, and then I believe it was a bunch of 2 tire stops or fuel only on the last pit stop there under green. How was it? I mean, were you able to notice the difference when you went from 2 to 4, or I should say 2 tires on a stop versus 4 tires? Like, was it really noticeable on the truck, like you said? Because these things, like you said, they're already a handful to get it going. I mean, how was it on the different tire strategies there?
It was noticeable, kind of pushing, kind of at the end there, because once you kind of get in the draft, and that front car takes some air off of you, and then the back car gets real close to you, that thing, it would like to get loose, and kind of you'd have to kind of catch it a little bit, but it wasn't too terrible. As as I could say, it was pretty fun though.
Absolutely fun this race truly was. Ryan, got a top 3 out of this tonight. Really put yourself smack dab in the middle of a playoff driver Oreo cookie here. So with that, great run. Hoping to see this more from you, but we got to give you the floor right now for any thanks and shout outs you might have for this 3rd place finish.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my wife Caitlin. I mean, she's on the truck with me with her Cincy business. So if you need any smell goods or anything for the house, I mean, her website's on there and everything. I'd like to thank y'all guys. Got all y'all for putting this on. Y'all's broadcast is absolutely amazing. She absolutely loves it. She said it's 10 times better than any broadcast she's ever heard. So. And I'd like to thank Bud and them. I mean, I wish I would have known Bud was coming up on that last lap because he's in the playoff. I would let him have that extra point, but it is what it is.
Absolutely. Well, hey, congrats on that 3rd place finish. Hoping to see you more up here in the booth with us. Got 2 races more to try to get some great finishes, so we'll see what you can do next week at Talladega. Go celebrate with your team.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was your 3rd place finisher, Ryan Decker. And now, got to bring in a familiar face here. We've seen him a whole lot. Your man, Kevin Freeze, defending champion of Area 51 Super Speedway Truck Series, and he pulls off the 2nd place finish here tonight. So, Kevin, talk to us about your night. You were kind of everywhere.
Yeah, a bit of an adventure. I only took 2 tires on the pit stops there. And the car is predictable when you have 2 tires in clean air. But then the one time I like, it was twitchy but manageable. But then once on the one run, Richard got up. Got up in front of me. The car is just so unpredictable in dirty air. So I ran out of talent for a second there. And then, yeah, it was just a battle, and that caution saved me big time. Got the wave around, started moving through the field, then got stuck in line, but that green-white checker, I was able to get up to Gabe and make sure that the team got the win there.
Yeah, and then Max and I were commenting on the strategies. We're talking, it's like, all right, so do they wait till green? Do they go a little early? And you guys opted to go a little bit early, and it looked like it was going to be possibly an issue there because they were starting to get some good momentum on you. But then it seemed like they started kind of fighting amongst themselves at one point, I think pretty much coming through forward to the start-finish line. At that point, was that where you guys were starting to feel a little bit more confident about it? Or is that one of those ones where once you get going, you look at that mirror and you see those trucks getting bigger? How are the nerves at that point?
I was just watching the mirror, calling out to Gabe what was happening behind us. Like, the one truck got a run. He went to the high lane, then he got hung out by the people, and I forget even who it was. They had a run down to the bottom on us. I guess it was Josh had a run. He pulled in behind us. That helped us a little bit. Then when he went high, we were or it was Ryan Decker. Both my standings lists aren't working. It's awesome. Yeah, when he went high, that stalled us out, and I thought Gabe would be okay. I had no idea where I would end up, and then it looked like they got into each other maybe a little bit. I'm not really sure, but the big thing that helped us was Bud came behind us and pushed me right back up to Gabe. And once he did that, I knew we were at least getting one. We were going to get 1-2 or 1-3, just because we were able to get connected there. And I know the line that he runs through the tri-oval, so I don't have to lift when I'm pushing him through that. Sometimes you do, but I could stay pretty safe behind him.
Absolutely. So one last question before we let you go here. Let's think big picture now. Let's think championship. You got a second place run, but the guy you didn't need to win just won 2 for 2 here in the playoffs. So what do you think your chances are of defending this championship are looking like? Do you still think with 2 races to go you got time to do it, or are you already kind of throwing in the towel here? Kind of just give us your insight within Team Bootknocker here.
Hey, as long as it has that BK on the side of the truck, that's a win. That's a win for me. Oh man, I dropped back big. I just looked at the points. That doesn't look 100% right, but yeah, I mean, Gabe wins it, I win it, Eric wins it. It's a win for us. I mean, the most important thing for us is just to be out here, have fun, not race selfishly, and make sure the team gets the win. And it's a lot of fun running with that core group that races that way.
Absolutely. Well, man, got the second place finish here tonight. Going to Talladega next week. Going to give you the chance right now, though, to share any thanks and shout-outs that you might have for this second place finish here tonight, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you to the guys who were in Discord with us there. It was a lot of fun tonight with Eric Everett, Gabe, of course. It was great to get the win. Thank you to you guys for putting on the broadcast. I have it up now looking at the nice little TED. Maybe I'll have to come up with a new graphic. And thank you to the admins who work so hard for this group. It's a lot of fun to come out here on track every week.
Well, great job tonight, Kevin. We'll get you back over to your team and saying talk to one more of those trucks with the BK on the side. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you next week, sir.
All right, catch you guys then.
All right, that was your second place finisher, Kevin Freeze. And now to talk to somebody that we never get to talk to ever. Man, I can't even make jokes about it anymore. I take a week off, Gabe, and I come back and I'm still talking to you in Victory Lane. So I guess I'll ask the same questions I always ask. Hey, tell me about your race. What'd you think, and how'd you recover to come get the win tonight? Because you did have a little bit of an interesting race there in the middle there.
I thought I was done for really on that caution, but I just happened to be the lucky dog, and I think I started in P8 or P9 with fresh tires, so I knew I was in with a chance, and I was just trying to get hooked up with teammates somehow, and I found myself on the bottom by myself there, and luckily, well, unluckily for some, but I think another caution came out, and Kevin was able to line up behind me and was able to get me over the line once again.
So Maxwell, I'm gonna pull. So after I was able to pull up the results for tonight, we talked about bonus points being crucial for these things. So, bonus points for tonight: a point for the pole position, a point for leading a lap, a point for leading the most laps, bonus point for being the race winner. There's a point for the race finishers as well to make it to the end also, and 3 points for having a 0 incident race. Gabe just racked up all of those bonus points for 8 bonus points in one race. And I say Kevin had mentioned that he was surprised to see how big of a gap that Gabe was able to pull on him there, because it's now 21 points from first to second, Gabe, over Kevin Freeze. And Kevin mentions, like, that doesn't sound right. And I think it's that right there. I mean, because after tonight, Gabe had 48 points after all the bonuses. Kevin Freeze, 37, because unfortunately for Kevin, wasn't able to have the incident-free race and some of those other things. So, I mean, Gabe, you racked them all up for, I mean, it was a wild one tonight. There was not very many trucks getting home incident-free tonight, but somehow you're able to kind of make it through unscathed. And again, I mean, we know you're one of the biggest egos in the league. I mean, everybody's like, we always hear you say, yeah, nobody can touch me and all that, and joking aside with your modesty. But I mean, is it just being in the right place at the right time tonight? Or, I mean, was it more of just you put yourself where you're like, okay, when you're worn at the front, it's like, okay, I'm going to bide my time and try to make sure when I make moves, they're going to be, there's room to go and not make any like big aggressive moves that could risk anything there at the end?
Well, to be honest, at the end, I had to be fairly aggressive. Like I was telling Max, I was either P8 or P9 with fresh tires on that second to last caution there. So I figured that, now's the time I've got to try and get to the front. And I was able to get through some traffic, and man, it just got intense. I mean, Kevin was up there 3 wide by himself at one point, I think. And I mean, I'm just trying to hold on for dear life, trying to gain positions. And I was able to eventually got pushed around there. And again, it comes down to your teammates. I mean, you can say, right place, right time, big brain theory, but again, your teammates get you where you end up. I mean, and really, it's. I mean, I have to say that if that's not a team win, I don't know what is. I mean, that's a 99% team win and 1% driver right there.
Absolutely. And one more question that might be just a little bit different than what's normally asked here. You're sitting good in the points. Not really. I'm almost going to say, knowing you, this points championship's locked up 2 races in here. But anything can happen still. But when it comes to driving in this series, I mean, we see it season after season after season. I don't think there's been a season since I've been around that Team Bootknocker has not won the championship in these Super Speedway series. So my question to you is this. What do you think it's going to take of these other teams out here to be able to actually beat Team Bootknocker? And that might be weird to ask, but I'd love to hear your insight since you're a veteran of the sport. What's it going to take for these other guys to actually beat you guys? Because y'all beat them week in and week out.
Well, these guys are getting really good. And some of the teams are bigger. Some of the teams are smaller. But, if you can get a good core group of guys together that knows each other's habits and style of racing, and, you all agree on a strategy pretty quickly, I think that helps the team tremendously. And like I said, these drivers at all the different tracks, they're getting better and better and better. And to me, it's only a matter of time. And, once, you get a good core group together, you have that cohesiveness. And they'll get there, man. I mean, I have no doubt about it.
All right. Well, we'll have to see how the rest of the season shapes out. Just 2 races to go. Next week, though, we'll be in Talladega. We know y'all run super strong there. Wouldn't be shocked to see a 3rd win in the playoffs from you, Gabe. But before we let you go, let's give you this floor for any thanks and shout-outs that you might have for this win here tonight at Atlanta.
Massive shout-out to the team again. And, of course, Area 51 for putting this league on. I mean, it's been a blast from day one. To me, it just keeps getting better. And of course, you guys for doing your fantastic broadcast. Probably at this point, one of the best in the business for your analysis and race knowledge and all that stuff. And of course, shout out to my lovely wife, Jeannie.
No, it was a great job tonight, Gabe. And I say, well, let's just go celebrate with the team and then Jeannie afterwards, man. So great job. Go enjoy this one. And yeah, I say 2 down, 2 to go. So good luck the rest of the way, sir.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good evening.
All right. That was your race winner, Gabe Butler. And as we go live here, Gael, we probably need to look at our race results. So we're going to bring those up for you here now. Gabe Butler gets the win for Team Bootknocker with teammate Kevin Freeze right there behind. And remember, folks at home, your playoff drivers are highlighted in green to help you see where they're at in the field. 3rd place, Ryan Decker there sneaking in that sandwich. But Bud Steele and Seth Groover. Seth, I feel like, bounced off of a lot of things here tonight and gotten a couple incidents, but still come out with a top 5 finish. Patrick Groover there in 6th. Gary Winters at one point going for the lead, but then just didn't work out right. Going to finish in that 7th position. And Vicente Guerrero there in the 8th spot. Todd Siebels going to recover from a couple of interesting pit road incidents to come back 9th. And Adam Kilday will round out that top 10. 11th place now goes from lead lap to 3 laps down. Eric Laurie there in 11th. 4 laps down was Josh Laston and Bob Fitzgerald. 6 laps down was the 14th position, Jim Brooks, who was leading there on a late restart. So that big wreck there at the end kind of taking him out, along with Matt Wagner there in the 15th spot, 7 laps down. 8 laps down, just not the night he was looking for. Incident early and just could not recover well. Richard Sanchez going to finish 16th here. Taylor Reeves, 17th place, and Austin Call in the 18th spot. Just a few more spots to see here. Everett there going to finish in the 19th spot. James Moan, 20th. Michael in the 00 in 21st. And Robert Rock, not really making any laps here tonight. Going to finish in the 22nd position. So before we go, Gael, give me your take on tonight and what you expect to see the next 2 weeks.
Man, I mean, tonight was wildly set. I mean, there's definitely some incidents that didn't bring out cautions. And then, yeah, just like you said, some guys that were right there at the absolute end and just unfortunately kind of had their hearts pulled out, if you will, there and having a chance. I mean, Gary Winters was right there, had a good move going, just unfortunately the momentum didn't pan out all the way to the end. Like you mentioned, Jim Brooks had a good restart there, but then kind of just got ditched there by a bunch of guys on the outside line, and from there just wasn't able to recover. And then, like you said, caught up in that incident with Seth towards the end as well. So it was eventful to say the least. It was pretty busy. And yeah, so I mean, like I said, that margin though that Gabe has it's going to be a tough one to beat because, like I said, he doesn't beat himself very often. So these guys are going to have to be on their A game. But like I said, it's 21 points to Kevin, 28 to Eric. And then you're going 30s from there on back. So, I mean, it's Gabe's, like I said, it's definitely not over by any means, but I mean, I feel like he's got pretty much one hand starting to tighten that grip on that trophy a little bit already. But, you know, as well as I do, you can never count it out until it's all said and done. But we're going to be going, like I said, nice and wide open at Talladega next week. So drivers going to probably enjoy that little extra quartered racing where they're going to be like, oh, this is nice and easy 3-wide racing versus what we had tonight. They still went 3 wide, but man, it was some close quartered action. But I'm looking forward to it. It's been a blast.
Absolutely, and we're looking forward to bringing you all the action. Just 2 weeks left for these seasons in Area 51. Do not forget, Sunday night is the Next Gen Super Speedway Series, and they'll be at the high banks of Talladega Super Speedway. Gail Brooks will be there with the call, I believe. Maybe in the field. I don't know. I think you were in the field last week, so maybe you got Boomer and Chris over there pulling that action, right, Gael?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get Boomer back. I think Boomer will be definitely running the show. We'll see who's second chair with him. If I can rope somebody in there, I'll definitely try to hop on track and cause some trouble again. So we'll see who we get tonight, or I should say on Sunday night. But yeah, I believe Boomer will be running the show there. And then yeah, it'll be fun though. Like I said, Talladega is always a blast at those things.
Absolutely. So you got that series putting on a great show. Just 2 races left in their championship, and I'm pretty sure it might come down to the final race there. And then Thursdays, we're getting a gap here in the points, but man, anything can happen if you followed this truck series before, especially with that last race looming at the iRacing Super Speedway. But next week, we got to go to the high banks of Talladega 1 week from today. Same time, same place here on Green, White, Checkered TV. So for myself and Gael Brooks, we're going to sign off for the evening. And we thank you for joining us. Hope to see you next week. And from us here at Green, White, Checkered, we say thank you and good night.